Strap in, audio fans. The countdown is on, and we're chasing big, studio-worthy sound without breaking the bank. Today, we're narrowing down the best bookshelf speakers under $500 to help you get lush highs, tight bass, and pure clarity without overspending. From room-filling dynamics to room-friendly sizes, each pick has something special to offer, and you'll want to hear them all. Today, I'm going to be going over the best bookshelf speakers under $500 that you can get right now. All of the products mentioned are linked in the description, so check them out if you're interested in any of them. With that, let's begin. At number 5, we have the Polk Audio T15. T15 is a compact, budget-friendly bookshelf that aims to deliver a surprisingly capable listening experience in small to mid-size rooms. It uses a two-way design with a 5.25-inch woofer and a 0.75-inch textile dome tweeter, paired with a vented cabinet that helps extend the low end without a dedicated subwoofer. Because it's designed to be easy to drive, it shines when connected to modest stereo receivers or home theater receivers, letting you enjoy clear vocal clarity, smooth high frequencies, and a surprisingly satisfying amount of bass for its price class. Cabinet is built with a simple, sturdy MDF shell and a port on the rear that tunes the air for smoother bass extension, reducing the risk of boomy pockets in typical living room setups. In daily use, the Polk T15 tends to present a warm, forgiving sound that emphasizes the mid-range presence without harsh peaks, which helps with TV dialogue, podcasts, and acoustic guitar tracks. Tweeter's amplitude remains elegant at moderate listening levels, and the woofer recall is well controlled, yielding a coherent overall picture rather than a skewed bass response. Tonal balance is friendly to your ears, which is ideal for casual listening, gaming, or music that spans pop, rock, jazz, and dialogue-driven films. If you need to fill a room without breaking the bank, the T15's combination of price, ease of placement, and compatibility with a broad range of amplifiers makes it a strong opening act that still holds its own in teamed-up stereo setups or small home theater configurations. Speakers respond well to room calibration and placement nuances, such as keeping them away from corners for tighter bass, angling them slightly toward the listening chair, and pairing them with a clean, uncluttered power source to preserve their crispness and avoid distortions at higher volumes. Compared to the Klipsch RP-600 Millionaire, which I have included as number 4 on this list, the Polk Audio T15 offers a warmer, easier-to-drive character that shines at lower listening levels, though it doesn't reach the same scale and transient snap in big, dynamic passages. At number 4, we have the Klipsch RP-600 Millionaire. This compact bookshelf hero is built around Klipsch's heritage of efficiency and forward, engaging sound. The RP-600 Millionaire uses a 1-inch aluminum dome tweeter paired with a Klipsch Tractrix horn for that signature sparkle and quick, dynamic response that lovers of movie soundtracks and fast guitars often praise. Woofer is a robust 6.5 inches, designed with a copper-colored edge and a stiff cone that helps deliver punchy bass that remains articulate rather than boomy, even at higher listening levels. Cabinet is tuned to minimize internal resonances through solid bracing and high-quality plywood construction, which yields stable imaging and a sense of scale that belies the speaker's compact footprint. In practical terms, the Klipsch RP-600 Millionaire handles rhythmically complex passages, drum fills, fast-strummed chords, and film scores, with a sense of immediacy and slam that can be addictive in a small to mid-sized room. Excels when paired with a clean Class AB or Class D amplifier that can supply clean headroom, letting the horn-loaded tweeter breathe and sing without harshness. You'll hear crisp vocal intelligibility and energized treble that still protects against sibilance with well-recorded material. And the bass, while not floor-shattering, remains tight and well integrated with the mid-range for a coherent overall presentation. Smoother bass extension comes from careful tuning and the efficient design that makes these speakers relatively easy to drive, enabling them to deliver more dynamic impact from less amp power compared with many similarly priced rivals. A home theater, the RP-600 Millionaire can anchor a compact 2 or 2.1 setup and still hold its own in music listening, delivering a lively, engaging sound that invites you to turn up the volume without noticing fatigue. Paired to the Edifier P12, which I have included as number 3 on this list, the Klipsch RP-600 Million II trades some wallop and warmth for greater brightness, faster transients, and a relentlessly engaging top end that cuts through busy mix material. At number 3, we have the Edifier P12. This two-way bookshelf model exemplifies the mid-tier, no-nonsense approach many listeners value. Tight integration, front-ported convenience, and a compact footprint that fits neatly on a desktop or media console. P12 typically employs a mid-sized woofer paired with a silk dome tweeter, delivering a balanced mid-range that sits comfortably between warmth and clarity. The passive design makes it a great candidate for people who already own a capable amplifier and simply want to fill a small to medium room with credible sound without the complexity of a powered speaker setup. P12's cabinet construction emphasizes damping and precision, with internal bracing and a front baffle that reduces diffraction, helping to preserve imaging accuracy and stereo width. Listening to acoustic tracks, you'll hear natural instrument tone, a believable voice presence, and a sense that the room the music is performed in is present, rather than an artificially dry or colored presentation. In movies, the P12 rewards dialogue with intelligibility and natural cadence, while the music tracks reveal a respectable sense of space and depth for a budget-priced pair. Because the Edifier P12 is a passive speaker, its performance hinges significantly on the partnering amplifier. With a clean, neutral amp, you can achieve a refined tonal balance, whereas a bass-heavy or rough-sounding amp will push the P12 toward boominess or harshness, especially at higher volumes. Its job in this list is to prove that you do not need to overspend to get a coherent, enjoyable two-channel experience. Paired to the Edifier R1280T, which I have included as number 2 on this list, the P12 trades user-friendly built-in amplification for the option to pair with your preferred amp, offering a more traditional, audiophile-leaning presentation that rewards careful room setup and source selection. At number 2, we have the Edifier R1280T. This is the classic powered bookshelf that has long been a favorite for desktop setups, bedrooms, and small living spaces where simplicity and value matter. The R1280T brings a built-in 2x21W stereo amplifier per speaker, a wood grain cabinet, and a pair of inputs that let you connect multiple sources without a separate mixer. Sound signature leans warm and musical, with a smooth, high-frequency region that doesn't shout, and a midrange that glows with vocal clarity and instrument presence. Bass from the 4-inch woofer is pleasantly extended for casual listening, even if it isn't meant to shake walls in a large room. The design benefits from Edifier's use of careful crossover alignment, damping, and port tuning to reduce port noise and to keep lower midrange mud at bay. Key strength is the built-in EQ and tone controls on the side panel, which let you tailor the response to your room and taste, bump the bass for movies, or soften the upper mids for long listening sessions. The overall character remains forgiving, which makes this pair a strong recommendation for newcomers to high-fidelity audio who want immediate, enjoyable results without the need for extra gear. These speakers pair well with compact desktop DACs, entry-level receivers, or small power amps, giving you a straightforward path to satisfying sound without a lot of fiddling. In terms of versatility, the R1280T shines in home office setups, bedrooms, or living spaces where a simple, compact solution is essential. Built-in amplification can, however, limit ultimate headroom in very large rooms or with very inefficient listening spaces, where a passive alternative with a more robust external amplifier might offer more scale. Paired to the say-in bookshelf speakers, which I have included as number 1 on this list, the R1280T provides built-in power and a ready-to-go experience, while the say-in solutions tend toward a more traditional, possibly more resolving two-channel path when driven by a capable amp. At number 1, we have the say-in bookshelf speakers. These entries represent a pragmatic ending note for a list built around value, balanced sound, and flexible pairing options in a tight budget. The say-in pair is designed with a two-way layout that typically uses a mid-sized woofer and a dome tweeter, delivering a broad, approachable sound that works well with a range of amplifiers, from compact integrated amps to modest receivers. Cabinets are usually compact and lightly damped to minimize coloration, offering clean mid-range performance, decent imaging, and a usable soundstage for casual listening sessions, film dialogue, and background music in shared living spaces. Simplicity of the say-in design makes it an appealing choice for students, first-time audiophiles, or anyone who wants a straightforward, non-fussy listening setup that does not demand expensive components to sound pleasant. Tonality tends to skew toward natural and neutral with a conversational warmth rather than surgical precision or aggressive treble energy. In practical terms, this means voices sound natural, guitars breathe, and percussion lands with a satisfying click without fatigue. Placement flexibility is a benefit, with enough bass presence to justify a corner or shelf placement in typical rooms, while still performing adequately when positioned away from walls. Say-in speakers are most compelling when paired with a clean, balanced amplifier that preserves the natural envelope of the sound, avoiding cheap, harsh, or overbearing tonal boosts that can turn listening into a tiring experience after long sessions. This is a pairing-first recommendation. Invest in a modest amp with a good signal-to-noise ratio and let the say-in speakers deliver the rest, rather than chasing ever larger drivers or more elaborate crossovers to obtain better performance. Paired to the Edifier R1280T, which I have included as number 2 on this list, the say-in bookshelf speakers tend to deliver a more grounded, neutral presentation that rewards careful listening positioning and a pursuit of mid-range honesty rather than brash highs or booming bass that can mask nuance.